Hey folks, this is Danny Jugan with another dev video for Axis Football 2017. We are going to be showing off and taking a look at the franchise features that you will see in the 2017 version that will come at launch. Quick update before I do that. For the users playing on Macs, we had some issues with the game crashing at kind of random times during the game. So after looking through a bunch of stuff, we believe we found the issue. Long story short, Macs are a little bit more strict on the amount of memory that they will allow a particular program or app to take up before shutting it off. That threshold is obviously higher on PC and Linux because we weren't having any issues there. So after going down the rabbit hole pretty deep, we believe we found the issue and have corrected it, or have at least taken steps to begin the correction process. We pushed a new version to Steam just a little bit ago. It is live now, so make sure if you are playing on Macs that you restart your Steam app so that the automatic download will kick in. And please let us know whether or not that has fixed the issue for you. That's definitely something we want to take care of before we release on August 16th for everybody. So on to the franchise features. We still have a couple features that we are going to implement that aren't in the version that we're going to look at right now. This version is not live, so there are some things here that you guys don't have access to, those of you that have the beta. But you can click on franchise, come in here, and what I want to do is just walk through the features that you can expect to see in 2017. You know, whether you have been following us for a while or you just started following the game or you haven't checked in basically since last year, I wanted just to run through the features that you can expect to see in franchise mode. So first and foremost, it's a 12-week season. Next year, we will be moving to a very sim-based, deep franchise mode. We are focusing heavily on franchise mode in 2018. So you have lots to expect and look forward to in terms of that if you are a huge CFM player. A 12-week season obviously keeps track of the standings as well as your score plus minus. It'll highlight the team that you're playing with. This franchise is set up to play as Pittsburgh. When you play games, you have the option to play the normal player versus AI. You can do coach mode. You can just watch the game, or you can actually simulate the game if it's a team that you don't want to actually play or for whatever reason you want to skip that week. You can simulate it. We keep track of season-long stats. Total yards, defense, sacks, turnovers, points, that sort of thing. And all of these fields are sortable, and we also highlight, again, your team so you can see where you stack. So if you want to see the total yards leader, here we've got Green Bay, and we are all the way down at 31. Same thing for points. You can click on any of these, and it'll sort them and find out where you're at. Franchise stats. So season stats obviously go for the entire season. Franchise stats just keep some stats for you through the course of all of your seasons. So total losses, wins, your overall win percentage, the best record that you've had in any given season, and that sort of thing. These are a lot of baseline things that we plan on expanding in the future, but we just wanted to give a lot of the guys that like stats and like to really get into that, we want to give them something to interact with this year. Some of the other features that you'll have in the franchise mode, if you go one step below to view schedule, you can view the schedule for the entire season. So you can view it for the league or an individual team schedule for you. So for example, we're in week 3, so you can look all of the games that are in week 3, and you can also watch any of the other games live that week, which we thought was a cool feature. Some people have been asking about that. So if there's a particular matchup that's exciting to you, you can spectate that game, and all of the stats and all of the scores and that sort of thing in that game will get saved to the season. You can also view your individual team's schedule for the season. So here we see the first 2 weeks we've played already. It keeps track of those scores, and you can toggle between them. You can also see, any of the weeks in the season who will be playing. Like I said, you can watch any of those games as well. You've got depth chart control. So, and this will come into play a little bit once I talk about the features that are still needing to be added in 2017 before release. This gives you complete control over who plays on your team in what formations and that sort of thing. This isn't necessarily a new feature. We've had this in the game since about a few months after the 2016 release. But it is something that I wanted to highlight because we recently added player portraits. And these are individual player portraits that will be unique for each player in the game. So we have at launch about 2,000 different images. I kind of hinted on Twitter a couple days ago that these are moddable. They will be stored in external files. So if you want to replace them with whatever you want, you will have the option to do that. These aren't quite fully functional yet because we need to associate each player in the game with a particular image. That is something that is a little bit of a tedious process, and we'll be working on that over the next couple weeks before release. But rest assured that when it is ready, and it will be ready by release, we will be providing you with all of the necessary information you need to mod these out and replace them with whatever photos you want. We do have some members of the community that are already working on and already have worked on the NFL and the NCAA, maybe even high school mods. I have communicated with them and given them some preliminary instructions for what they need to do as far as getting these player portrait mods set up. I wanted to give them a little bit of a head start so that they could have those mods ready for you guys as soon as possible once this is available. So that's something we're doing. We got rid of the generic player portraits. We know that was something that's big. And these aren't the most awesome player portraits ever. They are kind of a temporary solution for us. We wanted to go at least one step up and get rid of the generic faceless players that were in there previously. These at least add a little bit of life to them, but we plan on replacing these in the future, 2018, maybe even beyond, with some higher quality stuff. So just a quick update there. Now, new features. Stuff that's coming in 2017 that we haven't had in the past. Drafts, player progressions. So what you can expect is at the end of a season, you're going to have an interface that shows you how each of your players progressed at the end of the season. Okay, so over the course of the season, some players might go up in certain areas, some players might go down. This is based off of how often they played, their age, their potential. So younger players that are newer to the league, they are going to have a higher probability of going up, especially if they saw playtime on the field. Older players that are reaching the end of their career, you might see some attribute values drop. Again, common sense stuff that is realistic and you would expect to see and is consistent with what we see in football leagues. That's what you can expect. So at the end of the season, some of your players are going to go up, some of your players are going to go down. After that, you will enter a draft. You'll select 7 players from a draft, and what you will then do is you will take 7 players from your team, and you will pick 53. I didn't explain that well. Let me try that again. So at the end of your season, you have 53 players on your team. You will draft 7 more, giving you a total of 60. You will then, after you've drafted those 7 players and have a total of 60, you will then select 7 players from your team to basically cut. They will be removed from your team and be gone forever, which gives you a total of 53 players entering the new season. This process will repeat year after year so that you always end and start with 53 players. This will give you a chance to cycle out your older players and bring in some new players, fill some areas where your team might be struggling. It also gives you a chance to build your team how you want. If you want to focus more on offense or defense or certain skill areas, that's completely up to you. Now, some caveats. I know this isn't the sim system that you guys want as the end game, okay? We are working 2018, I've already mentioned, we have big plans for franchise mode. I will just leave it at that for now. But know that we have heard you guys. We know that you really want a deep franchise mode. We are going to respond to that, and we are going to give you what you guys want. But we wanted to give you a little bit this year. Budget constraints, time restraints has limited us to only being able to implement this draft system like I described. But it will give you a chance to change your team year after year, kind of inject some new life into your team via the draft and get rid of some of your older players. And then obviously you can use this interface to swap in your new players. You have the choice to sub them in for all of the formations or just the formation you have selected. It's completely up to you, and you've got a lot of choice in doing that. So that basically sums up the franchise mode with what you can expect to see. I have this functioning in the 2017 version. I do need to add the draft and the player progression, and then removing your players after the draft. I will be working on that over the next week and a half as we prepare for release on August 16th. So that's about it. Let me know what you guys think. Love to hear your feedback in the comment section below. As always, thank you for the support, and we are looking forward to everyone getting their hands on this game very soon. I will talk to you guys soon. Thanks so much.